Welcome to the Wingate Advantage with Brandon Wingate, your weekly source for smart insights on real estate, business, investing, and building wealth right here in Middle Tennessee. Now here's your host, Brandon Wingate.
What's going on, guys? I'm glad to see you back. We got a lot to cover today. Good stuff. So I'm Brandon Wingate with the Wingate Advantage. I'm the owner and broker of the Wingate Group real estate firm here in McMinnville, Tennessee. I'm definitely an entrepreneur. Beat this fiat system for now. I have for several years. I own rentals, commercial property. I flip houses, build houses. I'm a licensed contractor. And so over the years, I have learned quite a bit about this business and investing. Looked into stocks, tried my hand at stocks, tried my hand at multiple other businesses, 20 years in the medical field. I had staffing businesses and mobile ultrasound and other things like that. So I've had a wide variety of businesses as well. So I try to bring that knowledge, bring that experience, and bring those mistakes I made along the way to this show to hopefully help you guys make some better decisions, maybe gain success a little faster than I did even. Today, I want to review just a little, all right? For the ones maybe picking up on this particular episode, I want to just review just a little bit of why we're here, okay? If you've been listening, we now know that we are on a fiat money system, all right? Fiat means basically backed by nothing, only the confidence we have in the government that issues that currency. And it's fake. It's just like I said, backed by nothing, no hard asset behind it, okay? So this can fluctuate. This can be manipulated. The currency can. And it's manipulated every day. The central banks, there's just a few central banks that actually run this fiat system all across the world, all right? There's nowhere to run. 195 countries, every single country on this fiat system worldwide. So, in a sense, that's a one world currency right there. It's kind of strange to think about, and that we've gotten to this point because it wasn't always that way. We came off the gold standard back in 1971. At that point, it was pretty close to being the whole world at that point. There's nowhere to go from this. This is the system we're in. This system is designed to devalue each year at a pace they try to control, which is averaged out to about 4% per year, that our dollar in this country, our dollar has devalued itself by 4%. That's the pace they try to keep 3%. They tell you 3% or 2%, but it's really averaged 4%. So even if you've got your money, your hard-earned money that you're clocking in and out for, and even if it's earned, say, 5%, really by the time taxes are taken out from what you've earned and all, you still haven't beat that inflation. You still haven't beat that devaluation. And so our goal here is to try to get this dollar that we are trading our time for, that we are slaving ourselves for this system that we're in. We want to try to get that dollar we're making to work for us. The powers that be want us to think and believe and they don't want us to wake up to the fact that the dollar we work for every single day can actually work for us. And when we learn that, when we awaken to that fact, we start looking at things a little bit differently. We start realizing, oh, that's why there's so many investments out there. That's why these things exist. To become an entrepreneur, to figure out how the dollar can work for you, there are actually a lot of safe assets out there. There are a lot of safe investments that has a really, really high chance of it working out and producing quite a bit of money for you and relieving your financial position. But we've just got to awaken to the fact that that is possible. And get over the fact that we've been taught that it's high risk, okay? Because if we educate ourselves, we can definitely calculate our risk in this, all right? And that's the goal. We don't want to go and turn our money over to some stranger and we know nothing about it. If we do that, then all of a sudden the dollar that we turn over to that stranger is going to be working for that stranger and not us. So we must educate ourselves in this. And so before we just go make rash decisions, that's what's risky. Now, the thing is, some of you had good jobs. You're comfortable. Right now, life's pretty good, all right? When we're in that moment, you're still working for that money, but I want you to know it's temporary, okay? Everything we go through in life, we're growing up, just as we're growing up, we start out riding a bike, then we go to driving a car, then we move up, all right? And things change. Our life becomes different. It doesn't stop, okay? Life changes. We get married or get divorced or we have kids and, or we get sick and come down with an illness that we didn't expect. Everything we go through is seasonal, all right? Now, during those good moments, you might be in it right now. We got to realize it will soon change. Soon meaning maybe tomorrow or maybe in a few years. That boss, he might retire. All of a sudden you got a different boss in. That can change things, like night and day. You might get sick. You might have health problems. Your family and somebody in your family might have health problems. Your job, your position, actually, that you're well trained in is replaced. And we got AI challenging us these days, all right? That is definitely something to think about because there's a lot of jobs that will be taken with this whole AI. That's a whole lot cheaper to run this AI system than it is to pay you or several of you guys for one position. So things are going to change, all right? And it's all seasonal. And it's not always going to be this happiness that you're in right here, right now. And so we got to prepare for that future, and that's what we're here to think about. So when we come back, we're going to go over real quick reviews as far as what we need to do to prepare. It's a review from past episodes, and that'll be real quick, and then we'll move in to our show. But when we come back, we'll get started into that.
Premium Black Angus beef raised right here in McMinnville. Hutchins Land and Cattle has fresh-to-freezer farm-raised beef you can trust. They also provide professional brush hogging, tilling, and hauling services. Quality, reliability, local pride. Hutchins Land and Cattle, serving Warren County and the surrounding communities one job at a time. Call today 931-314-9098.
Looking for reliable property services in McMinnville? T&Z Property Solutions has you covered. From mowing and landscaping to junk removal and even demolition, no job is too big or too small. They truly make your mess their mission. With T&Z, one call does it all. Contact T&Z Property Solutions today and let the professionals handle the hard work.
931-743-9079.
Welcome back. All right. So to review real quick, what can we do to start preparing for that direction, for the moments that we know is going to go sideways on us? Things, just don't stay perfect, okay? Number one, increase your money management skills, all right? This can take a lot of stress off of us, all right? Just not even investing at this point. It's basics, all right? We got to find those holes in that bucket. We got to find there's certain things that we have, and I can still comb through my stuff right now. I guarantee you for sure. And we can decide, do we really need that? And then we can look at it and say, oh, I didn't even realize I was still paying for that membership. I haven't been there in a year, or I haven't been there in several years. we can start plugging those holes. Very simple to do. We can look at where we're spending the most money, decide we're going to start controlling that, and we become slowly over time, as long as we've got that discipline, and we need to put that in place, we become better money managers. That skill increases. Now, if you guys end up having a business or whatever in the future, investing, that skill is still going to bring that skill that you develop personally into your business, into your investments. Next, increase your personal skills, sales, business, and I'm going to add one more. I've been talking about sales and business, how important that is, but networking. I'll tell you what, it is so important. It's important to know the right people, to network with them, not just looking at them as value in that way, but truly getting to know the people you want to work with, truly getting to know the people and figuring out how this team that you're building, this networking team of people around you, how you can help build each other up. If you run out there in basketball with 2 men versus 5, you're at a disadvantage. Or 1 man versus 5, you're at a disadvantage. So no matter how good you are, that team has to be a part of your life, and that's networking. We got to develop that. We got to start thinking about that, and that's a powerful skill to develop. After that, we're going to increase our investment skills. So you've got your team, you've got your network, you've controlled your finances. Okay, this is a period of time. Now you're ready for the investments. All right, and we're going to get into that. We've gone over the gold. We've gone over, we talked about monopoly on past podcasts, and I showed monopoly money. I showed the dollar bill, and I showed a gold bar, 1 ounce gold bar, and I made those examples. There's hard assets. There is fiat currency, which is the dollar bill, and then there's a monopoly money, which is the game. And the game can definitely help you learn how to get along in this world and invest and things like that. That's training 101. That dollar can work for you, but then that gold is a hard asset. That is an example of a hard asset, and there are many others, such as real estate, that is considered hard assets as well. And each one of these assets have different powers behind them. Some are more powerful than others. Some are done for different reasons. It's all about spreading out your investment and finding the smartest investments. Sometimes when one investment's doing great, the other one's not. So you're spreading out your risk. And you guys have heard that before. So that's kind of what we're talking about here. And today, we are going to talk about some real estate. And I hit on that gold and dollar and monopoly and things like that. Talked about a few stocks that could keep up with that gold, not actual stocks, but that there are investments on the paper side of assets, meaning stocks and bonds and things like this, that can keep up with what the gold did and all, and possibly even better than that. And they ran hand in hand. They did quite well. When we're comparing it from 2002, we took an example of a person gets married, starts their family, or just starts their career around 2002, 25 years old or so, and then say they increase their management skills, their investment skills, their networking skills, and they decided to keep investing in these different items all the way till today. We went over what that turns into, whether it be gold or just the person who saves, which being the worst off really in that sense because of the inflation of our dollar, because of the devaluation and things just getting more expensive. That just saving didn't go very far. Of course, that's better than doing nothing. That's what we're going to get into. And when we come back, before we really start this show, we're going to get into the verse that from the ancient book that I talk about. I'm pretty excited about the real estate we're going to talk about and how powerful that can be as far as an investment when we come back.
Hi, I'm Mason Nova with the Wingate Group, LLC, your local real estate resource here in East Tennessee. Whether you're looking in Knoxville, Gatlinburg, or anywhere in between, I'm here to guide you through every step. You can reach our office at 931-474-2500, or you can contact me directly at 270-564-9117. Let's navigate your next move together.
It's Insecto Exterminators! Bug out, guys!
From basic unwanted guests to bedbugs or even termites, we have your back.
You can have this house! It's got Insecto Exterminators for protection!
Call Insecto Exterminators today.
Insecto Exterminators has you covered. No matter who your unwanted guest is, give Insecto Exterminators a call at 615-499-0259.
All right. Now, this I'm liking. It's kind of deep. A little deeper than I've gone a little bit before on this ancient book type stuff. I've kind of glazed over the top with a little icing, you know what I mean? Talking about some verses to do with how to handle your money and different things. And I wanted to bring out how much wisdom is actually in that ancient book. This one goes a little bit deeper. I talked about how you may be in this position right now with your current boss, your current job, and things are great. Okay, and how I mentioned it is sure to change. So keeping that in mind, and how I said we need, during these good times, we need to prepare for the times that are inevitable, that's going to happen. We need to prepare for those times. It's thinking forward. So listen to this. Consider, this is Ecclesiastes 7:13 through 14. Consider the work of God, for who is able to straighten what God has bent? Now, first off, bent, all right? That is a form of imperfection. If we have a bent piece of 2x4 and we're building a house, we throw it out. We want the straight stuff, all right? We all want the straight stuff. We want the straight path. We want the straight to success. Consider the work of God, for who is able to straighten what God has bent. Keep that in mind. In the day of prosperity, be happy. That's exactly what we're talking about here, okay? But in the day of adversity, in the day, not if it happens, in the day of adversity, consider God has made one as well as the other, so that man will not discover anything that will be after him. Now, isn't that interesting to think? That's very deep there, okay? So I want to make a point with this. First off, the hard times will come. Those are literally set into place. That is a life of ours that has been bent. The path has been bent. It's made imperfect in our life. God allows this because he does not want us to see the future. He does not want us to become our own gods. Because if we could see the future and we knew the future without a shadow of a doubt, nothing was going to go bad because I did this, this, and this. Then all of a sudden, we don't need God. And that is not the direction we need to go. Not even if you're someone who doesn't necessarily believe in this. That is just not good for humanity overall. Can you imagine? Let's just take some of the most powerful people out there. They're not always good. They try to control things in the manner they want to see it, which can definitely be troublesome for us. And that is a power trip that they're on. There are certain things bent. There are certain laws in this world. Gravity. There's certain things. There's cause and effect that has been put into motion from the beginning of time by only one creator, which is God, and has been a certain way. If you jump out that window, you're going to fall and hit the ground. Gravity. It is a law, and these laws have been set into place. The point first, before I give you a verse of amazing hope, when bad things happen, especially when you're in entrepreneurship, because really in entrepreneurship, you have your own business, you're building businesses, multiple businesses, investing, all this kind of stuff. You're almost waking up and asking for a battle daily. I just want to tell you that. But the battle is worth it for a lot, for that freedom. You have to fight that system. You have to fight those laws that's been put into place that you know is going to happen. You become more aware of how much can go wrong if you're not asleep. And asleep meaning you're just waking up, clocking in, going to work. Yes, sir. No, sir. clocking out, going home, doing it again the next day. And you're just asleep, walking through life. That can be a lot calmer. I'm not going to kid you about that. But actually, being asleep, that's when you're a slave to the system, all right? This fiat currency system, and you don't really have that much to look forward to. But there is a whole lot more out there, but you will face more battles. And when bad things happen, did I do something wrong? God, are you punishing me? That can definitely go through your mind. It can also come from people around you. That's the first thing they think. Maybe God's punished me. What did you do wrong? Okay. The point I want to make here, that is not necessarily the case. God has bent this life. It's going to rain on the just and the unjust. He's bent this life to make him perfect so that we can rely on him and we don't become our own gods. So it's like, man, okay, fine, all right. Should you check yourself? For sure. Check yourself to make sure you don't have something in your life that you need to change causing these issues. Don't always think that this is now. What's the point behind all this? Why did God do this and bend it this direction? Listen to this. Proverbs 3:5-6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. Our understanding is now we know it's bent. There's laws in the world, all right? Let's not try to just lean in on our own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him. And listen to this. And he will make your paths straight. We go from bent on purpose. Who is able to straighten what God has bent? Nobody but God. And he will make your paths straight. He's the only one that has the power to do so. When we come back, we get into it.
In a world that has forgotten what men are supposed to be, Forged and Faithful has not. Forged in our faith. The strength to show it. With the purpose to serve our Lord and take care of our families through the grace of God, be proud to display your faith and your strength with purpose. Forged and Faithful.
Hello, I'm Brandon Wingate with the Wingate Group, real estate firm, McMinnville, Tennessee. I wanted to come to you today to let you know that there is a brokerage out there built for the success of agents. Are you tired of giving away a lot of your commission, hard-earned commission, when you're doing all you can to serve your clients? Well, we want you at our brokerage because I'm here to help you succeed. We have a 100% commission structure. We have an awesome brokerage. We have the Wingate Advantage radio show and podcast, which is generating leads and business like crazy. And I want to hand this off to you. I want to help you succeed. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you.
Savage Samurai Martial Arts, in affiliation with Team Legacy, is proud to announce the Blue Crew. This is an after-school program that provides homework assistance, as well as tutoring in areas specified by the parents that their individual students may struggle in. Followed up by instruction in martial arts training, contact the school directly at 931-473-5425.
Come on in and see us at Savage Samurai Martial Arts.
All right, let's talk about some money. All right, so on episode 5, if you haven't seen it, go back and review it. Go back and see the other episodes as well. But on episode 5, I was talking about one of the best investments that a person had made, which was gold. If they invested into it in 2002, 10% of their income, kept throwing it into it, 10% of their average income, that's what I'm going off of, is averages, from 2002 to today. And each year they were disciplined enough to throw that 10% into just buying gold, putting it in their safe, whatever. They did way better than the person who just saved. The person who just saved that 10% would have about $125,000 today. Skipping to the gold side of it, if they just bought ounces of gold along the way, that gold increased in value because of the fiat currency system devaluing. And as that devalues, the gold becomes more valuable over time. It is a hard asset. That person would have approximately $500,000 compared to $125,000 just the saver. $500,000 in value sitting in gold that they can go exchange and get those dollars along the way if they needed to, or exchange it into some other type of asset they wanted to invest in. But it's a nice little savings account. The increase of the value of per ounce since 2002 to today, take that 1 ounce from 2002, it's increased approximately 1,200%. That's insane, all right? That's a big percentage, right? So let's take that same person, that same scenario, and let's just say back in 2002, they decide to take 10% of their income and buy a house. We're finally in real estate. This is my arena. This is the arena I love a lot. And you're going to find out why over time. So that one person buys that house. $125,000 home, average price back in 2002 for an average home. They use the different loans out there available, whether it be VA, FHA, whatever. There are many, not just your regular conventional loan. When you're into residential housing, there are many options. And we will probably soon have a loan officer up here that is highly skilled and knowledgeable in this arena to hear from them. Let's just take FHA, depending on, this is all different variables, so it can range for everyone out there, 3.5% to 5% down for the FHA. That depends on a lot of different factors, but let's just say they had a 3.5%, were able to do that, qualify for that. They moved into it using this FHA loan. There's two things here that I want to bring to your attention. When you move into a house and you're living in it, you are locked in for usually 30 years. You can choose different time paths, but 30 years is what a lot of people choose. You're locked into that interest rate for 30 years, or you should be anyway. Other loans in the commercial world, like if you just bought a rental house, you can't use FHA loan. You got to use conventional loan usually. And those conventional loans can definitely be variable, or you have to renew the loan every 5 years, which means if the interest rate is lower or higher, that's what you step into 5 years from now. Point being, you're locked in for 30 years with the FHA loan, and you purchased this house. You lived in it for a year, because right now, looking it up, that is what is required when you buy something with an FHA loan. You have to live there for a year, and then you can literally move out of it and rent it. Now, this person did this, all right? This scenario back in 2002. Bought the home, 3.5% down. Their goal was to buy it, get locked in to 30-year amortization, got a great interest rate. They got to live there a year at least. And then they were going to move out and do this one more time. But this one house, let's take this one house, bought a $125,000 home, put 3.5% down. This one house, keeping it till today, turns into, counting your rent that you're receiving, average rents that increased a long time. The house at $125,000 also increased in value all the way to today. It's a more expensive home. And being fair, counting the maintenance that you'll probably have to run into along the way, that's 24 years. So we're talking, HVAC, probably new roof along the way, something like that. And those things happening, still taken into account, you would have a value sitting there of $500,000. You're like, oh, that's the same as gold. No. Wait just a minute. They did this in the very beginning, and we're only talking one house. Now, this individual keeps investing. When we talked about gold, they kept investing along the way and buy with their 10%. This was only their first move with the house back in 2002. they're still saving their 10%. And what do you think they're going to do with that? They're going to take that 10% when they're ready and have that down payment. They're going to buy another one. Now we get into, okay, then how many houses could they have purchased, saving their down payment along the way, re-renting? Maybe they decide to stay in one finally that they're going to live in. They're tired of moving, okay? His or her spouse, they're like, oh, I'm tired of this. Like, why do you keep doing this? So they're like, okay, husband, we'll stay. So they stayed in one of them, but they kept using that 10% along the way for 24 years till today. How many houses would they own? Approximately 12. 12 homes. What would the value be along the way with those 12 homes? That value could potentially range anywhere between $3.5 million to $4.5 million with a very simple strategy. We're not getting crazy here. We're only talking about that same person. Scenario number one, the saver. They saved up $125,000. That's discipline, okay, to have to save 10% every single year, to plug those holes and have that money to set aside. Wouldn't you want it to become something really good? For sure. You want your discipline and your hard work to really pay you back. Could he have won the Monopoly game over that period of time? He was playing Monopoly. Buying, developing, renting, ran into scenarios, had to work, taxes, whatever. But he stayed steady. That person that saves that money in Monopoly doesn't do that. You can't win that game. This guy, he played that game. He learned from it. And this game made him millions. That is not a bad word, people. This is just somebody who is steady in what they're doing, disciplined in what they're doing, still works as hard as anybody, but was extremely smart with it, okay? That range was 3.5 to 4.5 million, depending on the location of the house, all this kind of stuff. But that's incredible. Now listen to this. That's his net worth, all right, with 12 homes. Remember, he's getting rent off those homes as well. So not only is it worth $3.5 to $4.5 million with what all he's getting and the values of these homes, his net income, this is after repairs and things like this, and I've tried to do these figures as best as possible, so this is a range. His net income off those 12 houses is about $144,000 a year. And how old is this dude? He's about my age, 49. These are real years based on someone approximately my age. 49 years old, $144,000, and he's a multimillionaire by only plugging the holes, by only putting 10% into a bucket on the side, and then once he gets that amount, he goes and buys that investment of a rental house. I think a lot of us would be pretty happy with that result. I think a lot of us could say, yeah, I guess he's beat the system. A lot of us, this is an example right here. That 10% of money he set aside, would you say that money's working for him now? Yeah, he's got the world by the tail right there. That's exactly what we're talking about. This part right here gets me fired up. This is why I like real estate. Powerful, powerful, powerful. Now, this is barely even touching the surface. There is no weird games. There is no money down type, strategies. Nothing fancy here. Just discipline, hard work, and the discipline to put aside that 10%. Basically, get enough fear out of you to go ahead and purchase that home. All right? That is a single-family home. What else is out there? It's what we call multifamily. Let's just go one up to a duplex when we come back after this break.
No, that ain't working. That's the way you do it.
Premium Black Angus beef raised right here in McMinnville. Hutchins Land and Cattle has fresh-to-freezer farm-raised beef you can trust. They also provide professional brush hogging, tilling, and hauling services. Quality, reliability, local pride. Hutchins Land and Cattle, serving Warren County and the surrounding communities one job at a time. Call today 931-314-9098.
Looking for reliable property services in McMinnville? TNZ Property Solutions has you covered. From mowing and landscaping to junk removal and even demolition, no job is too big or too small. They truly make your mess their mission. With TNZ, one call does it all. Contact TNZ Property Solutions today and let the professionals handle the hard work.
931-743-9079.
All right. Welcome back. Everybody have time to think about what we're talking about? Let's talk about duplex. I'm sure you guys can realize, oh, that's times two. Yeah, it is. And there is a more powerful vehicle there as well. Now, the one thing that I want everyone to realize is that there are hurdles, okay? If you're on your own, by yourself, these things can definitely be easier. You just have to figure out what you're willing to put up with and what you're comfortable with, how much inconvenience potentially is worth it to you. But when you add a spouse to it, that spouse has to be on board as well. And sometimes that can be a little bit more difficult. My wife has been great. She had to get used to the personality that I had for sure. You know, when she met me, I was doing like everybody else, clocking in and out. I did pretty good. I was shooting x-rays and this and that and moving up in the hospital system, you know, doing all this stuff, making pretty good living. She was doing the same. Waking up to this fact over the years, which I've talked about in other episodes, I just couldn't keep doing that. So this change, she had to get used to. This change was something we had to have conversations about quite often. It wasn't always easy. It wasn't always easy she went through the same uncomfortable times and challenges as I did. And she had to be willing to do that. Now, I had to give in a lot of areas. I had to take her out to a nice steak dinner every now and then. Say, hey, honey, what we did was worth it. See, we got more of this to come. Over time, she was realizing that. So my point is, take it a little slower. You have to, especially when you have a spouse involved, you have to ease them into it. It does help if they're studying the same material, if they're hearing the same material as you are, and it can help, you know, wake them up out of their sleep that they're in as well, just like you were. But it takes time. Don't rush it too fast to get to these points, okay? Just like we're talking about from 2002 to today. That's 24 years. Now that person's seeing the results of their choices. It is a long road. This is a long road. This is not a short one, all right? And when you have someone involved with you, just remember that. Take the long road. Take it a little bit slower pace because it's very easy to get super excited and almost go into a panic at times depending on your personality, all right? And that was me. You know, I was like, oh, no, go, 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 go. Like everything, like that's the only thing we focus on, you know, and then so I had to learn to pull back a little bit. My recommendation, duplex. Now, the duplex. So the cool thing is, all right, a lot of us might not know this, and a lot of us actually, even in all my years from 2014 being a realtor, selling all these homes for people and stuff, not one time have I seen this, okay? You can use a residential loan like FHA and all these perks to do with it, 3%, 3.5% down, 5% down, whatever it might be. You can use the same loans for a multifamily property as long as you're living in it, at least one unit, okay? So let's take a duplex. The same loans are available for a duplex as they are for a regular residential home. And you think, oh, those duplexes out there, they're just out of my range as far as price. I can't afford that. Think again. Hold on just a minute, all right? This is what I've been talking to my son. He's 16. I've got another one that's 14. And my 16-year-old, he's driving now. He's got a job and all this kind of stuff. So now his mind is that going this direction. He sees his future, that one day he's going to be moving out of the house, and he's got to figure out what he's going to do and how he's going to survive. So now that his mind is triggered this direction, we're having these conversations. I actually recommend this, and I have to him that this is a possibility, and it's a really smart one. You buy that duplex, let's just say it's on the market. Let's just say, and these duplexes literally, they might need a little work or whatever because they're rentals, okay? But don't be afraid of that. That's just a value add, all right? And we spoke about that as well. So we're just talking finishing basements or whatever. But this is a value add situation. And you've got, let's say you got an empty unit, okay, that you can move into. Now, you can move straight into that, and as long as you are, and you got somebody else on the other side that's paying rent, you've got now help to pay your payment. And the cool thing is that these duplexes, a lot of times, kind of run pretty close to the same price as buying a house. Why is that? Even though it's a duplex an investment property? Because people don't think about a duplex like this a lot of times. It's not the first thing that goes into their mind. Also, it requires a little bit of maybe inconvenience if you choose this as your vehicle to start your investment career and your change. But it's a powerful one if you can put up with living right beside somebody else just for a little while. That's all I'm saying, just for a little while. You use the FHA loan, 3% down, 3.5% down. You get into it. You qualify. Your payment, let's just say your payment's $1,500 a month. The guy next door is paying $900 a month. Well, now what's your payment? Take that math, 900 from 1,500. All right, you got $600. You could never get into a home, in my opinion, that was worth anything and only have a $600 a month payment. You can't even find a rental for that. All right. So now all of a sudden you've got somebody beside you helping you pay your payment, helping you pay down and get equity into that rental that you're in, and you're still moved out of the house. You're on your way. You go to work. You do all your things that you do, but you're very satisfied deep down inside of you knowing you made this investment choice, and it was a good one. It was a big investment choice. And you also got everything else you're looking for as a young man, a young woman. You've moved out. You're on your own. And you've made this choice. And somebody's helping you pay the payment. All right. And along the way, maybe you do a few things to it if it needed some work. You're adding some value to it. And remember, you only have to stay there a year. And then FHA and these loans, they allow you to go ahead and move out. And guess what? Rent the side you were in. Don't sell it. Rents have gone up. Remember that. Let's just say you keep these and you do the same things that guy with the house. Because they run very similar in price, just like a home does, you could potentially have 12 duplexes, like he had 12 homes. But what does that tell you? He's got times 2, 24 rentals. And just on a single-family home, he was already bringing in $144,000 a year on average. Now we're probably in the $200,000 range plus. With 24 now renting, keeping up with inflation, meaning, get this, when you have these rentals, one of the worst things, you just can't do it, okay? You cannot, let's say that person moved in. This is the hard part. This is one of the challenges, all right, pieces to investing. The person moved in next to you when you bought that back in 2002. Average rent being, $500 a month. They're so sweet. They're so nice, Now we're in 2026. That person's still there. Did you raise the rent? Should they be paying $1,400, $1,500 a month, average rent, based on average rent? Yeah, they should be paying that. Did your taxes go up along the way? For sure. Did other things go up along the way? Your cost of living and things like that? For sure. You didn't raise the rent, and then they're still, paying $500 a month. That's just not good for you. Okay, that's the challenge, all right, about being a landlord, and maybe you don't want to be one. If you don't want to be one, then you need to hire professional management. They can do that for you. But if you are renting right now and your rent goes up, that is what they are actually supposed to do, because they're not automatically getting rich off going up on you for $50 a month or whatever. Their expenses has increased as well. They face the same challenges for sure, all right? And they're taking care of all the maintenance. Back in 2002, how much was it to replace the roof or fix the HVAC compared to 2026? Everything is way more expensive. And they would not be a good investor, like you will be one day, if they didn't do that. It's just part of it, okay? So if you're renting, all right, you're trapped in this fiat system, more than likely, all right? Your goal is to get out of that. Your goal is to start buying hard assets and get yourself into some sort of real estate is what I recommend. Be very smart about your purchase, maybe something like this duplex, and you have to manage it. That's part of management skills. You are now running a business. But that's actually how you get out of the fiat system, get that dollar working for you. That's just the way it is, all right? Now, with this duplex, guess what? There are tax write-offs you can do. Now, we're going a little deeper here. On the surface, the guy's making over $200,000 a year, 12 duplexes, 24 rentals. Boy, that dude's got it going on, all right? Wish I'd have done this. I didn't start that early. So I'm hoping you guys do. I'd love to see it. He's got all these tax write-offs. So that $144,000, if you were making $144,000 at your job, do you really think you would bring that home? No. All right. They pull taxes out for you. Before you ever get your check, you might come home with maybe $110,000. They'll easily pull $30,000, $40,000 out in taxes along the year. This guy, tremendous amount of tax write-offs along the way. More than likely, if he's doing it right and he's got his networking team I was talking about, he's probably paying zero taxes out of this rent. A clear $144,000, okay? He's got future rental properties as he moves into these. They appreciate like a house does. They can resell like a house does. For instance, all right, let's just say you move into one and you know that the rent is low, all right? You can easily increase the rent, and now it's become a more valuable package if you wanted to resell it to an investor that's looking for something like that. A matured investor that just looking to buy that for tax write-off reasons or whatever. There's all kinds of different reasons, but you've made it more valuable to him because it's making more money, which means it's gone from, say, a $200,000 purchase that you purchased, you increased the rent, and you resold it for $250,000. That's easy to do. Some of them will require only that. The previous owner owned it in 2002, and they never went up on the rent. And each side's making $500 a month in 2026. Well, that's no good, and that's an automatic. You see it. It's an automatic mistake that they made. They can't sell it for much because it's just not making any money. This is an investment they're trying to sell. But you know that can change. You know that the average rent now is about $1,400 a month, and that's what you're going to do. Now you buy it for $180,000, put a new roof on it, different things that they couldn't afford to do because the rent's too low. You increase the rent, put the new roof on it, resell it for $300,000. That happens all the time. You just got to wait for those moments, be able to seize those moments. I have a real world example that I'm super excited about that was in your own backyard that I was watching and actually studied because I had an investor that was working with me that was looking for an investment, but he was a new investor. So I showed him this, spoke about this, and fear kept him from jumping on it. But I'm going to give you this example. When we come back, this will be pretty cool to see. Talk to you soon.
To play the guitar, I should have learned to play them drums.
Insecto Exterminators! Bug out, guys!
From basic unwanted guests to bedbugs or even termites, we have your back.
You can have this house! It's got Insecto Exterminators for protection!
Call Insecto Exterminators today.
Insecto Exterminators has you covered. No matter who your unwanted guest is, give Insecto Exterminators a call at 615-499-0259.
When it comes to plumbing and so much more, Pro Plumbing Plus has you covered.
Whether it's a clogged drain or even a brand new construction, we got your back. Contact us directly at 931-928-1428. Ask about our 24-hour emergency service program. You will never have to worry about those situations that really stink again. Pro Plumbing Plus. Plumbing done right.
We got to install microwave oven, custom kitchen delivery.
All right. So, there was a property that popped up. And first I want to say, with the Wingate Group, real estate firm here in McMinnville, we have we have several people that are very, very familiar with multifamily properties and investments such as this. It's extremely important that you find a realtor. If you're looking to make this type of move, you need to find a realtor that knows their stuff. Now, unfortunately, a lot of them will say that. I guess what I'd want you to say or ask when you're interviewing a realtor, have you ever owned one yourself? There's a big difference, all right, between somebody that says they sell commercial real estate or someone that says, yeah, I can find you those investments, multifamily. Yeah, I know all about it. They know how to sell it to you. Do they know how to value it whenever they resell it for you one day? Or do they know how to help advise you in that because they own one themselves or own a lot still themselves? They need to have one or the other. They need to have personal experience in what they're selling. They have personal experience in selling homes, and they probably live in one. So if they're going to be selling commercial real estate or your commercial real estate or your multifamily properties and helping you buy and make great choices for multifamily properties, they also need to have some personal experience, okay? Just my 2 cents there. This popped up about 8 months ago, and it was in our own backyard here in McMinnville, Tennessee. And I'm going to pop up the picture of this unit, okay? And you can see here that this particular property was actually not a bad-looking property overall. It actually needed very little work. I was looking at this and I thought, oh man, the original list price was $395. And how many units? 4. This was a quadplex. What did I tell you earlier about the loans? Just imagine if you moved into a quadplex, 4 units, not just a duplex, and you used the loans available with very little down payment to get into this, and then you had 3 people next to you helping you pay that payment. Yes, that is a little larger move, a little more gutsy. Gutsy not meaning because it's higher risk, gutsy because when you're looking at a larger investment, it's a little intimidating sometimes, but not necessarily a bad move. All right. I've printed off this MLS sheet for this information, okay? This property ended up actually selling for $365. $395 was the original listing price. $365, 4 units, all 4 rented. Each unit, right off the bat, what I noticed, each unit, one was rented for $850, the others were rented for $800. What's the average rent we've been talking about? And then in McMinnville, okay, ours is a little below what the average is for the country. We're somewhere around we're talking a decent 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment. You're looking at every bit of $1,100 to $1,200 right now, okay? We can find those all over the place. So these are at $800. right off the bat. That is a lot of increase per month that is potentially there. All right. So what are we talking? Almost $400 per unit, 4, 8, 12, 16. Another $1,600 coming in on this if we were to go ahead and make that change. Plus the fact that this is I believe it had a metal roof, if I remember. Decent shape. Looks pretty good. I actually didn't see, studying into this and looking at this, there was a whole lot more to do. If you're moving into this, you don't have to put the 20% down. As long as you pass all the qualifications that's required to do this and you have a great loan officer, if you were moving into one, this would be a great play right here. Your payment on this, though, you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, like $365, what's the payment going to be on something like that? It'll be, if you did do the 20% down, it would be somewhere around $2,300, $2,350 per month. Right now, with the interest rates, I'm doing this on about 7%, 7.5%. That's what your payment would be. Now, imagine this: when interest rates go down, they will. They always fluctuate. Eventually, they'll do it. But if this opportunity popped up, just remember this. Capitalize on this. If interest rates ever go back down to, say, even 5%, makes a big difference. But with these people in here at $800 a month, you're already cash flowing, okay? They're already paying your payment plus. So payment is not something you necessarily have to worry about as long as the investment makes sense, all right? Let's just say you buy this, you move into it 1 year, you move out, you rent it. Rent your unit you were in. Now all 4, and you've brought up the rent to current rents, okay? Remember, you bought this at $365. What if you rent it up and they're making $1,200 a month per unit? You're cash flowing like crazy, meaning above and beyond all your expenses, you're shoving $1,000, $1,500 in your pocket every single month on top of that, okay? But you decide you want to go ahead and sell this. You've had it over a year. All right. So your capital gains has changed. It's not short term. It's actually long-term capital gains. Let's flip this baby. All right. We're going to use this money. We're going to take our spouse out to that steak dinner. When we do this, this is the plan. And we're going to talk about how much more we could do. You sell this at, and we'll get into the cap rate. This is probably a little over a lot of y'all's heads a little bit, but we're going to talk more about it. But this is where the experience from the realtor comes in. If you learn what a cap rate is, ask them, do they know what a cap rate is? All right, first things first. Cap rate is 7.5%, totally doable. And experienced investors look for that percentage, sometimes 8%. Okay, but let's just call it 7.5%. I believe you can sell it at that. The resale value on this, when you raise the rents and you kept it in good shape, $532,000 by the next year. That's $117,000 profit on that flip. That's a life-changing amount of money from just that one move, okay? So we're going to get into more like this. This is just an example of what's in your backyard potentially. Now, if you guys are listening elsewhere, back in Murfreesboro, Coffee County, whatever, these are definitely there. There is so much out there, and I hope you learned the possibilities to do with the different types of investments you could have, how powerful real estate can be. And if you're looking for a realtor to represent you and know that they've got this knowledge, give us a call out there at the Wingate Group, real estate firm, McMinnville, Tennessee. We can help you if you're in Nashville. We can help you if you're in Murfreesboro. We can help you all over Middle Tennessee and East Tennessee. I've got a realtor out in East Tennessee as well. We got the MLS out there. So if you want to buy investment property, even in the Knoxville, Gatlinburg area, we're there for you. Give us a call, 931-474-2500. And you guys have a good evening.
Money for nothing. Chicks for free.